And in the sense of how do I train Ben to take the hits, I got to be real. I got to hit him. So right now in my training with him, I'll crack a shot at his ribs or his stomach and punch him and kick him. And the director kind of likes this because the deal was in training him, because I believe fighting should be taken to an extreme level of reality. So with DareDevil, if he's going to take the hit, let's make the body prepared and the mind. But the frustrating part for Ben right now is I'm beating on him in so many different ways, and his frustration's in his face. But the key is when he starts on the movie, I'm going to say, now, let it go. See, he can't hit me back. He's not allowed to, because I'll be out of a job then. But really is you can frustrate an actor so much when you're training them, but you got to contain it, suppress it. Then when it's time to fight, say, now let it go.
Basically, I break it down to show them this is the distance, this is a safe distance. You throw punches or kicks or swing weapons at this safe distance, and it'll look like you're getting very close. Then from there, I work with their natural talents that they have as a base and sort of expand on that and build on it to make it even pop and shine, basically.
Should we go to the second piece? Or you want to do this? Okay.
It didn't happen overnight. He really has to suffer real training that would normally take us maybe a year. Like The Matrix, they train 6 months for The Matrix. I'm doing this guy in like a quarter of the time on the time I've got to work with him. So that kind of training for an actor, I take my hat off. A lot of respect to them. And people should, understand that it's not an easy job to make them do things that took me years to develop and train. He's doing it in minute time.
Jennifer is very proficient at using the size, and I can usually tell when an actor is usually uncomfortable or feels a little pressed by certain moves or feels a little uncomfortable with certain moves. So I'll tune into that and make an adjustment to make them feel more comfortable, or swap it out for a rubber or plastic weapon. But she's become very proficient at it and is very, very good at it. And I can usually tell within the first 10 or 15 minutes how I'm going to be able to work with an actor and how capable they are.
Jen, if it feels cleaner, you can just do the turn and then start twirling it too. Maybe it feels better just to do a whip from there.
Like that?
Yeah, you can do one of those. It's great. And it's also nice because it's more of the ballet stuff before we get into the really violence, you know what I mean? It'll give us somewhere to build from.
Slower?
It was just like learning to play the piano. I would give myself little drills to do in my backyard, and I would say, okay, 10 flips going forward, 10 flips going backwards, with the right hand, with the left hand, with both hands, with the right hand, and then figure eights, backwards, figure eights, backwards. And I would make myself do that every chance I had.
D-mark. Set.
I push very heavily for a widescreen format because I think that you could say a lot more in a widescreen format. The idea that you can isolate someone in a frame, that you can throw the weight of a frame around, you can Dutch a frame, and what you can do with that, the energy of that, the emotion of it is really huge. So that's why we pushed for a widescreen format. From there, I find for myself, I grew up with photographers in terms of my references. Nan Golden, Bruce Davidson are photographers that I find really absolutely exceptional, and they were great for this project for the main reason that they both photograph outsiders. They both photograph people who don't live in the same reality that everyone else lives in and somehow are isolated and different.
To Mark's incredible credit, this guy wanted to know everything about what it was like to be blind. He wanted to know about how I could interact all the senses. He was fascinated with the machines I used, the reading machines and stuff that I used to communicate in a contemporary world. He was interested in all of my fears and phobias.
Do you mind?
No, it's just sometimes I think it makes other people uncomfortable, so I...
There's a scene where Electra and Matt Murdock are dancing at the ball, and some of the dialogue there was based on a conversation that Tom shared with us between he and his wife, and how she got dressed one night, you know, knowing that he would never see it, but she wanted to get dressed up for him, and it was very sweet, and so we used that.
It was so beautiful for you.
Right here, right this way.
I've played a lot of characters that were actual living people, and what you learn from that experience, like Rocky Marciano, there's a certain responsibility you have to capturing their spirit, but by the same token, you have to bring life and bring yourself to it. Now, a comic book character, it's even, you know, more the case, because comic book characters tend to be very one-dimensional. And I think that in casting me and Ben together, you capture an aspect of the relationship that sort of reflects what's in the comic books, but brings a greater dimension to it. You know, we're really, Ben and I think, share a common sense of humor. And so, you know, the chemistry on screen, I think, reflects that, because we're having a lot of fun together.
Yeah, fine, here you go. There's a little much. Yeah, that was a little big. Yeah. I feel like we've done the chair bit in every court in the city. It's not... You had to bring the pimp cane. It doesn't... It disturbs people. It doesn't engender sympathy. It's disturbing. It crosses a line. You know, we're trying to be manipulative, not horrified. Oh, yeah.
We spent a lot of time on the set joking around, and it's a fun set. Everybody really gets along well, which is not always the case. Doesn't always make for a great movie, but it certainly made for a great experience of shooting the film.
Great. That's a cut. That was good.
Even though until he's an inquisitor, he's an actor asking questions, and that's what actors do. You see John Favreau at work. Go ahead, ask you some questions. Go ahead, John.
Throw him the puppy line. Just throw it to him.
Yeah. What are we trying to find out here?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. What's up? How's it going? What's up, MTV?
I like it.
Project Greenlight. You think everything's Project Greenlight? Hudson's going to pay us in. Chronic?
And as long as I could sort of bring a little bit of humor and a little bit of lightness to an otherwise heavy and dark piece, I think I've done my job.
No. Which is really annoying. Hey, watch it! I got a blind guy going here. Use the crosswalk, asshole. I love this city.
You want to do the crucifix? You want to do the first one in the morning?
Do the crucifix.
Do the crucifix?
Do it once here, and then at the end, as a result of fucking the hands getting hit, it'll just automatically come into that. So
Yeah.
Twice in the same church.
Right.
Mark Stephen Johnson, who wrote it, with such a labour of love for him, and he's got such passion about it, so that's great to be around. First one's a warning. Padre. You. I read some of the character research. I read some of the comics Mark sent me when I went home to Dublin before I started work on it. Because there's not much preparation you can do for the part I'm playing. It's not constricted by the realms of reality, and you couldn't really, get into character or do some character research. What was I going to do? Go around the streets of fucking Los Angeles with a paperclip, killing people, and pencils, stabbing them in the neck. So, the thing about this, which is why it's so much fun, is because I've never done a job like it, in the sense that you just check your subtlety in at the door and, be as camp and over the top as possible. I want a fucking costume.